Welcome back to the page, guys. Today we're doing a year-end recap. It's something that we kind of started last year that I just like to do to kind of recap my year, see how everything went. There's a lot to talk about because I compete a lot. So we started this year's competitive season back in February. So it was right around my mine and Keelan's birthday in February. We went out to ship again because Max and Sam hosted a pro-am competition that was a Magnus for Magnus qualifier. So I figured, hey, let's do it. It was outside. It was middle of winter, beside the ocean, very, very cold. We had events like truck pull, car deadlift, log ladder, frame hold for time, and natural stone. So it was a very, very uh, cold competition. I can't repeat that enough how cold it was. But um, first time competing out in the cold. It's kind of cool experience to have because it was setting you up to be in a good spot for Magnus. So at the end of the day, I finished in second place to none other than Wes Derwinski. We've been kind of not back and forth, but he was a guy that the past couple of years I've been trying to close that gap um, between me and him. And at Ship again, I was half a point away from him, so definitely closing that gap. It was a good result for me. It was good events. Just ball with the last event. It was a natural stone, and in the cold, if your hands don't work, you just none of us. Well, Joey was the only guy to get that stone that we got stuck on. So, a very tough competition. Cool little trophy, kind of a Viking because it represents Magnus for Magnus. So that kind of set the pace for my 2024 competitive season. I think the next competition was in April. I went down to Williston, North Dakota for North Dakota Strongest Man. It's only a couple hour drive from me, so it's nice and close. I've done it before, and it's just nice to see Mitch and Lacey. They're the promoters. They own Full Circle Strength Systems down there. An amazing gym. They have every piece of equipment you need, and it was a cool event. Cool competition. Cool events I've never done before. Like the Fingal Fingers. So that's why I wanted to do it because I've never done it before. And at the end of the day, I walked home with this beautiful custom made first place trophy. Pretty cool. Celtic wood smoke. It actually still smells like a burnt wood. It's pretty cool. Always a fun time going down there. One of the cool events about that one of the events for that show was a Max Atlas Stone. Kind of like how they did at the Arnold Amateur a couple of years ago, where you I don't even think they let us skip any. We just had to hit them all, and it went up to like 470 pounds. And um, that's the first time I've ever hit a 450-pound stone in competition. And then I went 470, and I got it to the lap. I just couldn't load it. So big PR there. Happy to take home the win. Again, there was a good group of Canadians there. We all just went across the border. Short little drive, always fun to do. So probably won't do it next year because I gotta compete less. I gotta compete less. So after that, I had nothing until Western Canada Strongest Man. So I was there to defend my title. Good group of guys, good events. JF came out for that competition. The goal was to try and go back to back. Unfortunately, I fell a little bit short and I took home the second place trophy. And by a little bit, I mean, again, I lost by half a point. So that's two competitions this year that, I came short of the win by half a point. Sean Hayes was the better man on the day. He beat me fair and square by half a point. So now, if history repeats itself, that means that I'm going to win next year because in 2022, he beat me by 1 point. 2023, I beat him. 2024, he beat me by half a point. So next year, I have to win. So, yeah, coming home with second place. Deadlift PR, last event was a max deadlift. Pretty cool to see JF come out, support the guys, put up some extra money, and like shout out to Alec and the owner of Dungeon Straight. They gave some extra cash, a couple $100 American, so that's like, well, right now it's like a lot of money to the heaviest deadlift, and that gave a little bit of incentive to pull something pretty big and pretty cool competition in Duncan, BC. We spent a week there touring around the island. Um, Next year, I believe Western Canada's Strongest Man is in Alberta, maybe Calgary, I think. I'm not sure where it is, but a little bit closer of a drive. So I'll be back there to try and get another first place trophy. So that was kind of a fun one. Um, Looking forward to next year. This is a train whistle um, that Wes got me as a gay gift because, as you guys know, the nickname's kind of James the Train. So he got it to for us or for me just after OSG last year. So now when rec competitions, Keelan will blow it. She'll blow it in the background. So whenever I say let's keep this train rolling, we give it a quick little. That's probably pretty loud on the microphone. I'm not sure, but um, another thing that I did this year, I don't train specifically for it, but I do grip competitions. This year at King Kong, it's been a couple years since I've done it, but it was in our venue at Regina at our gym, nice and close. I didn't train for it at all. I just showed up, tried my best. Didn't hit the PRs that I wanted, but still was enough to take first place in the 105 plus kilogram weight class. And at the same competition, I got like second place overall. So they do it by weight division and overall. So I took second place at King Kong in Regina overall, and the guy who beat me actually won the whole thing. So that's a multi-venue competition where it's I don't even know 30 plus venues around the world all doing the same lifts, same events on the same day. So I mean to take second place to the guy who won the whole thing. Um, there's a trend showing here. I took a lot of second place. Yeah, globally. So very, very proud of that, especially on a whim, no training. Just um, I take pride in having good grip, and it's from doing little competitions like this where just show up, do it, train a little bit, and it carries over for strongman, and it can never hurt. Well, I can't say that because it does hurt to have good grip because it means you have to go heavy. But um, yeah, the next competition I did was North America's Strongest Man, where I don't have a trophy to show for it, but I came in 11th or to 16th place. This is my first time doing that show. Um, a lot of names I've looked up to in the sport and have seen at World's Strongest Man before were there, like Kevin Ferris, Spencer Remick, Maxime. Maxime is the only guy on the circuit that's currently competing that I have not beat yet. So um, hopefully I can try and beat him one of these years. But he just put on an insane performance there. I unfortunately picked up a calf injury on the truck pull. I think that was the third or fourth event in. So for the rest of the competition, I never got to show my true capabilities, but I still fought to the end. I didn't give up. I got my leg taped up, and I tried to do as best as I could. So next year, that's the show that I'm going to specifically train for. Um, because I want a better performance than that. Definitely want to be in that top five kind of category next year, and I think I'm capable of it. And it's always a gruesome competition, very heavy, lots of events, but such a cool venue. We're shuttled out in the back of pickup trucks, waving our country's flag, and it's always nice to compete against some of the best in America coming up here, and excited to see how that goes next year. Um, by the dates, 3 weeks after that was, I think it was 3 weeks roughly, was the Shaw Classic Open. Um, the calf wasn't quite recovered 100% going into that, but I just wanted to do the best I could. I ended up sixth place out of 10. So this year at the Shaw Classic, they did kind of same as OSG. They took um, the field and cut it down to top 10 after four events, I think it was. So really competitive, and to try and make it to the finals is no easy feat as well. So happy with sixth place, which was an improvement from last year's. I was eighth. So the goal for every competition is to just get a little bit better than I did last time, and that's what I did. All things considered, I did kind of tweak my elbow on the log press. I kind of dumped the log behind me, which jarred my elbow. Uh, which when I went to try to do the dumbbell, I zero the dumbbell. It's a weight that I'm capable of hitting. I've hit it before many times in the gym. Is 220. I wasn't going there to win it by any means, but unfortunately, I zeroed that event, which cost me 5 points. Just if I would have got one rep, that would have been 5 points. So um, happy to improve on that from last year. Next year, hopefully podium at least. It's always a fun time coming down to Colorado. Excited to see what the events are next year. After that was uh the week after that was Canada's Strongest Man. So definitely there's a bunch of us that were not recovered. We're not uh, anywhere close to 100% leading into that competition. That being myself, Joey, Tristan unfortunately had to drop out of it because he was really banged up. He picked up a bad injury. So it was myself, Joey, and Wes that did the Strongest Man on Earth for Wes, and then myself and Joey did the Shaw Classic. So and unfortunately Joey had to drop out of CSM after the first event, or he couldn't even do the first event, or he tried because he picked up an injury at the Shaw Classic. So it's tough doing back to back competitions, especially when the weights are this heavy. So it be hopefully next year maybe there's some time difference between the two and we can get a little bit of separation, give some of us guys some time to recover in between it. But um last year at Canada Strongest Man, I believe I was fifth place. So the goal this year was to get on the podium at least. And that's exactly what I did. I took home second place. Man, that's a lot of second place this year. Second place at Canada Strongest Man. So third time there competing. I got better every single time I was there. This year it came down to the last event was the Atlas Stones. I was fourth place going into that event. Gabe had a really good lead. Wes, I think, was in second. Colton was in third. I was in fourth. And one of my goals for this competition was to finish a stone run. Again, I came up short last year finishing it. And for those of you that don't know, they're like the world's hardest platform to try and load to because they're like a 6-inch ring on 56-inch height all across the board. Like it doesn't get lower. Um, but they're like they move, so you have to pretty much dunk them or get them right on the position because if you don't, it's just going to hit the ring and fall to one side or push the platform over. So very, very hard rings to hit. But I was able to finish it. I was the only guy to finish it this year. Extremely proud of that. So that means in the past 4 years, only myself and Maxime have finished that stone run. So um, guys that are very, very close. So I think next year is going to be a little bit closer to see how many people actually finish that run if it's back. But happy with second place. That just means that there's only eh, to get better. I have to win it. That's the tough part, right? If you come in second place in these competitions, the only way to get improved, to have improvement, is to win it. So it's definitely something that I believe I'm capable of. And next year I'd like to give it a good shot again. Hopefully come in with more than a week recovery time, but it is what it is. We're all in the same park. We're all in the same part. We're all in the same category if we're trying to do all these big shows at the same time. So very proud of my second place finish at Canada Strongest Man, and next year we got to try and come for it all. So that um, gave me a few months break in between my next competition which was official strongman games. Last year I made the finals, which qualified me for this year automatically. So I didn't have to do online qualifiers, which is nice. I didn't have to qualify via a different competition. I was enough to get in. And last year I finished fifth place. This year I made the first goal, which was to make the top 10, and I finished fourth place. So little shy of the goal because the goal was to podium and punch that ticket to official strongman games, or to Giants Live, sorry, and potentially World's Strongest Man. Even though that's not an official qualifying route, it just happens the past 2 years the whole podium did get invited to World, so it's kind of up in the air. You never know if it's going to happen, but I mean, at the end of the day, like Darren and Colin said, you keep putting in performances and you get better and better and better. You're going to be on the list. It's just that list is growing every year because all the competitions that Giants Live puts on, there's more athletes added to the roster, and if they do well, it just extends that list. So hoping to you know, potentially make a breakout there somehow. You never know. People drop out, people get injured, and I don't wish it on anyone. But I will be ready if the call comes to step up to the next level. That's where I'm trying to go. That's what I'm pushing for. So yeah, that was kind of a quick little recap of this year's competition. A lot of competitions, some really big, some a little smaller, some grip competitions. But at the end of the day, I just like competing. I always compete as much as I can, but next year I definitely have to compete a little bit less. Really peak for those competitions that I want to do well in, that are going to get me to the next level. So, next year my biggest focuses are going to be the Shaw Classic Open, North America Strongest Man, and official Strongman games. So, I'll be ready for those. I'll be putting in the work as we always do, trying to improve from this year and stand on more of these podiums at these bigger shows and show that I am capable and that I am ready to get to the next level. Just gotta put in the work on the weaknesses, and that's all we can ask for. So thanks for tuning in to this quick little recap. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and if you're already watching the videos and you're not subscribing, you might as well subscribe. Just or leave a comment. It helps the algorithm, and as always, let's keep this train rolling.